Welcome to Fitness Made Easy. I'm your host Dhaval. This is a unique platform on which I bring you Bangalore's best fitness trainers and coaches to help you with your fitness. So if you're a beginner or somebody who wants to become a trainer, this is something you don't want to miss. And even if you're a trainer, believe me, this is something you don't want to miss. And today I have with me Rohith. So Rohith is a certified trainer, a master trainer, Pilates trainer, TRX certified, Bozu certified, and I'm not going to list out the certifications he has because it's going to take 30 minutes just for that. And if you've heard me doing that 2-3 times, because the guests on the other side do have these number of certifications and I have no other choice but to just mention few. So that's Rohith for you. What we're going to talk about today is his specialty. The specialty that Rohith brings in is rehab and working with athletes and sports people. So that's something that he does, and we're going to talk about that when we talk to him more. So Rohith, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for your time. So let's start with your journey. Tell us about why did you become a trainer and how did you become a trainer?
Okay, so very interestingly, when I started, though I was on the heavier side, it wasn't the reason that I got into fitness. I started because I had an injury back in, I think, 2001. I had a cervical injury which the doctor had advised surgery and 6 months of bed rest and no riding for the rest of my life. That was at that point of time. So at that point of time, I was literally broken down. I was like, okay, I can't do anything in my life. That's when fitness happened. So I started reading up things and I started working on myself. The pain reduced. It was still there. The pain reduced. 2 years later, started getting more into details about studying, got a lot more of information. Now I'm pain free. It's been, I don't know how many years, 19 years almost.
Without surgery?
Without surgery, absolutely
Wow.
no surgery. So that's where it started from. Then, you do get into the trend of, I want to become good with how I look, bodybuilding thing. That went on for a while, but then it got me back to fitness as something that everyone needs to do. I saw a wide variety of people. I saw people who were doing fitness for the sake of looking good. I saw people doing fitness for the sake of doing fitness. But the category that was missing was the people who needed fitness actually. We were going into a phase where everyone's becoming obese. We've got a lot of health related issues. We've got people who are coming in today saying, I have clients who are 22 with diabetes. I'm not even talking about type 1, I'm talking about type 2, which is something that's acquired. I have people, most of the women today come and saying PCOD, and the problem with that is you go to a doctor, the solution is medication. You come to a gym, they push to a level where they give up within the first 2 months. Or they would look up an internet program which would say, look, I will give you a 6-pack in 30 days. Now these are false things that you cannot justify, and when someone does this, they end up becoming demotivated and stop fitness. So that's where I wanted to get it. So after that, I did one of my rehab courses in WeFitness, when I was working with WeFitness. There is when my entire journey started actually. I was doing my ACE prep course with Dhaval Bhadeshiya, and after finishing that is when I went in. I actually finished that course, and he said, listen, there's a new place starting up in JP Nagar, would you like to work? Now fitness was never a work for me. It was just something that I was passionate about because I run a business. He said, okay. I said, alright, let me get into the place. It'll give me a little more exposure. I worked there for a good 2 years. Within the first month, I ended up taking over operations for that place. And from there, it's just been a series of certifications, which some I did with me, some outside, we've done workshops. And working with someone like Gautam is like a pinnacle. You start learning the most basic and how do you get to the most top. That's what started my fitness journey. And now I've gone to a level where I just want to work with kids and athletes because they are so much more responsible, and when you tell them, this is what you want from them, they normally do that. They don't have reasons for it. They are passionate about it. So that's what I'm looking at.
So you don't get resistance from them. They are more receptive about.
They are receptive. See, with kids, it's a very different way that you have to handle them. With kids, it's you'll have to look at making sure that they don't get bored. You have to make sure that though they have so many activities, you still keep them interested in working. Now, though passion plays a big role in them, it's also how you train kids. You cannot raise your voice. You cannot be forceful. You cannot, expect something by saying, I want this. You have to be very resourceful. Your training has to change. That keeps it interesting for me.
Yeah, so he became a fitness trainer because he was passionate about fitness. And from the education point of view, he's got bachelor's in fine arts. So he's a good sculptor and an awesome photographer as well. These are the things he studied as part of his curriculum.
So that's another key thing. When I did sculpture, we did a lot of anatomy. Our studies, we had anatomy as a subject, and we did quite a bit of it. So that's another place where,
So you knew six packs before you get
Yeah, that's something that was pretty good.
Good. That's interesting. So this few things are new to me. Like I know you for quite some time now.
I think from 2013.
Yeah, from the time We Fitness started, I think
we've
been together. So I know you from those days, and some of these things are new to me as well. So nice, good to know. So when did you start training people?
Actually, I think I started in 2010. I was not a personal trainer per se, but I used to help out a lot of people. 2011, I had already started doing my education with fitness. 2013 was when 2012, 2013 was when I actually started training individuals. That would be where.
Okay, that's good. So, while we know about your journey because you had a pain, you got yourself out of it, and now you had a reason to help out others, you got into education. Did you also have a role model to look up to where you did all this stuff?
Honestly, when I started, there wasn't anyone for me. Like, I really didn't have, back in 2006, 2007 when I started working out, I really didn't see many people that you could follow. There comes a phase when you look at bodybuilders and things like that, but then I still didn't have a role model. The time that came in was mostly during that 2012. Gautam was one of the people that really helped me to understand what it was and how the way that he is. He's one of the few people. There was Praveen SV. He's another person that I really look up to. Apart from that, nutrition-wise, I have Ryan, whom I really look up to. These guys are, I think, one of the few people that I say are my role models today that I want to be like. So, yeah.
Good. And one thing you mentioned, like a lot of us and a lot of people even today start fitness as bodybuilding, and though now there is a lot more education and information out there, sometimes bodybuilding is considered as fitness.
Right.
So what is fitness according to you?
So, that's a very great question. A lot of people, especially youngsters who come in, the first thing that they ask is, sir, I want to have a six-pack ab, I want to look this way. Now, the technicality of it is when you look at a sports person, someone who's getting paid in crores or lakhs, is working literally the entire year towards his fitness goals. And most bodybuilders don't maintain that for more than 6 months. They do come back to it. What these people don't understand is that aspect of it. For me, fitness as a personally, it would be more of you being healthy enough to not have any aches and pains, being able to do your day-to-day work, being able to at least manage to get in physical activity within a week's time. You at least get about half an hour every 4 days or 5 days. That itself is good fitness. That is the basic of it. Now, when you look at today's culture, most of us are sitting on a desk. You come back home, half of the people that I know come back, today I have back pain, today I have lower back pain, my shoulders hurting, my neck is hurting. Now, these are things that are considered not being fit. If you're not healthy, if you're not able to do your day-to-day stuff, then you're unfit. That's what my perspective towards this.
So, you made it very simple that, if I am pain free, I have energy to do my work, and I'm able to do my work without, all weird sounds coming from my body or my mouth, I'm fit.
You're fit. See, if you want to get technical with it, we've got enough and more tests than the basic ones. But let's not get into that much of detail, because if you look at a layman today, if you look at someone on the street and say, let's keep 3 categories: age group between your teens to 20-25, 25 to 35, and then the other one going 35 to 70. Okay. Now, fitness for these 3 groups will be very different.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm looking at my teenagers, my fitness will be them being able to play sports, them being able to do all the school activities without fatiguing, not falling ill, just being healthy. That is one part. Now, between 25 to 35, now that's a different category. You have people sitting in the office all day. Now, I would want them to do some kind of an activity which, gets their heart pumping, gets their cardiovascular work, gets their strength to a level where they're managing their day-to-day without anything. Now, let's come to the other category. This is the major chunk which we forgot, in the 35 to the 70. Now, most people over here have already tried working out in the gym, given up, and now say, I am done. I've tried everything. Now, that's the category that I really would want to push, because these are the ones that are going to start developing health conditions the moment they hit 40. Right? So these are the guys that would most probably need to work out. And work out, when I say work out, it doesn't have to be that you hit a gym. Right? Today we have so many formats. We have group classes, we've got gyms, we've got outdoor activities, we've got running clubs. There's so many things. Do any of it. As long as you're keeping yourself active, that's all that's required.
So, one thing that I'm able to derive, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, especially when it comes to the 25 to 35 part, and that's where a lot of people come in also to the gyms. I want to look like someone, say Hrithik Roshan, Tiger Shroff, or anybody. Now, what is the message to people like this? Like, can I really look like somebody else? Is it really possible? Is it something that people should look for?
If you want to look like someone out of a poster or a movie, there are 3 things that you need to look at. One is these guys, their nutrition is point. I'm talking about microcalories. They're literally looking at the entire picture. So their nutrition is taken care of. They're working out at least twice a day. Do you have that kind of time? First question. Okay? Do you have the patience? Do you have the resources to have that kind of nutrition? Now, the third part of it, yes, you can look like that. Depends on how much of dedication you have. And also the time duration. Do not come with the mindset saying, in 3 months, I want a 6-pack. Right? On an average, if you look at it with what we studied, on an average, if you want to look at weight loss, we say 2.5 is the most healthiest way that you can lose weight. Right? 2.5 kgs in a month. Now, you're coming with 20, 30 kgs of extra baggage and saying 3 months is what I have. Like most clients who come to us are usually, 1 month before the wedding, I have my wedding coming up. So that's something that becomes a little more challenging for us. And if you're an honest trainer, you would definitely say, listen, I can get you to lose X amount of weight. But more than that is not healthy for you. Technically, you know how much a person can shed weight in a month. You can go down to almost 5-10 kgs, but that is going to be really, really unhealthy. You're going to be having aches and pains, you're going to have some kind of a joint issue later on.
So that's not fitness.
That's not fitness. So yeah, I don't think that's what you should come in with a mindset. But if you do want to get into that, you need time, right? What happens with most youngsters when they come in is they start with that goal of 3 months because they've seen transformations happening within 3 months. Now, you need to understand these guys have worked out for X amount of years, and their muscle memory is always going to be there. So they can start off by lifting heavy, and their transformation happens. Some with external, yeah, and some without. But yeah, you want to get your body's maximum potential first. Once you hit a plateau where you cannot get out of it, that's when the next stage of your supplementation comes in. After supplementation, when you hit your peak, is if you can't do anything more, that's when people get into the other things, which I really don't suggest. There are side effects, but if it's a career goal, like I know a lot of people who want to get into bodybuilding as a career, or they want to do modeling as a career. I've seen a lot of people, they have no other option but to go into that, right? So, yeah.
So, what I understand is, one, if you're looking for it, first thing first, if this is the first time you're hitting the gym, expect time. Don't ask for 3 months or 6 months of your goal and say, I want to look like
Make short-term goals rather than, don't keep a very big goal. Like, don't say, I want to lose 10 kgs within 1 month. It's more of, first, get your fitness level up. Get your cardio levels up. Start eating healthy. These are small goals that you can achieve. The smaller the goals, you can achieve it, and it keeps you motivated throughout. Because if you have that big goal and that's the only thing you're working towards, yes, work towards it, but keep your smaller goals in place so you know you're progressing somewhere. Otherwise, you end up hitting a plateau and then you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, so small steps at a time, keep moving but take small steps.
Yeah, and those small steps keep those goals.
Yep.
So that'll help you.
So, what kind of routine do you follow?
Okay, so after a while, like I used to do a lot of heavy weights, got into powerlifting, did that for about 2 years. Later on, now what I'm concentrating is more on my flexibility. I'm doing a lot of Pilates, I'm doing a lot of functionally fit movements. I'm doing a lot of calisthenics. That seems to be working a lot better for me now because one, with the amount of classes that I used to take, the body was under quite a bit of stress. So I slowed down. I changed that process. So now I do a lot of body weight training. So TRX is one of my best friends right now. And yeah, the kettlebell, things that I can use at home so that I don't have to hit a gym, traditional gym to finish my workout. I can do it wherever. My car literally has whatever I need. So that handles most of it.
So you carry a gym along with
my gym's always open. So if I want to get in a workout, it's always very easy. With a client, finish my workout, I can just park at a park and then finish my workout.
Nice, good. Alright, so some really interesting stuff. So we'll move to the section where we're going to ask more questions or give more information to the beginners. Now we already talked about a little bit there. So why should people get serious about their fitness?
Look, we live in a society today where we have pollution, we have foods that are really unhealthy, we have health conditions popping up on a day-to-day basis. You have, just sitting all day. You don't want to get into that phase where you're hitting your 30s and saying, dude, I can't do anything more. Till you're 25, you're really good. Your body recovers like that. Even if you have stress, you have things, your body recovers. You're sleeping less, you're partying more, you're drinking, you're doing all of that, your body still recovers till you're about 25. 25, you hit 25 and then your body starts changing. Your recovery slows down, you need more sleep, you wake up lethargic, you still have your work tensions. So these are the reasons I would really say, get your body back in shape. I'm not talking about, being size 0, nor am I talking about bulking up. I'm talking about being healthy. Someone who can just, be pain free. That's the main thing that I would like most people to understand and get into.
So if I'm watching this, now I know that okay, there is something that I want to do. What should be my first step?
So first step with most people that I say is start with an activity. Do not push it forward. Now I'll have most people that come in, I will start on the first of the month. I will start on Monday. I will start on Sunday. Start. Do whatever little that you can, but start. I'm talking about you want to make a change, start with walking. If you don't do anything, start with walking.
Just walk.
Just walk. Just start walking. Just start with some physical activity so that you can progress. You do that for about 6 weeks, you'll automatically start, seeing small changes, and then you can add on. If you are someone who's worked out and you've quit working out, like I had one client of mine who worked out for a good 4 years, bodybuilding and things like that. Ended up stopping, bulked up to about 120 kgs. Now when he came back, the first thing was like, I want to start lifting heavy. Now with this, had high BP, all the conditions that you don't want to have. And then I said, listen, let's get you to start walking first. Let's get that cholesterol level down. Let's get your heart rate to be normal. Now if that is taken care of, then I can push you to do weights. Because if I go to weights, I'm going to faint and fall. You don't want that. So yeah, start small.
Start small.
Start small, but start.
Yeah. So if they're watching this and if that's not Monday and if that's
Start.
not first of it,
Start.
so what you're saying is just go out there and do
Yeah,
something.
do
Today is the
something.
day.
Yeah, just
Irrespective
start.
of what day it is.
Exactly.
Today is the day.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
Yeah. Why do you want to wait? See, I have done this. I've done this personally. There's so many times I've been like, okay, Monday I'm going to start my workout. Because we literally live that life. So at times we do get bored. And I'm like, okay, I'll start from Monday. I'll start from Friday. I'll start from first. We keep just procrastinating and we push it. That's something that has to change.
So I think all of us have been there. All of us have done that, and end of it we have realized that there is no Monday, there is no first of the month. If you got to do something, just wake up, get up, do it. That's it. So yeah, good one. Because I believe a lot of people will connect to this, and all of us have been there. At one point in time, we've done that.
So the first question that I initially after my wedding, I put on a little bit of weight. Actually, and they were like, "What? You're into fitness?" And I'm like, "Listen, I am, but I want a break right now." I took a break. I took almost 6 to 8 months. That's perfectly fine. As long as you know you can come back to it, come back with dedication. You should. And breaks are important. You do not want to fatigue yourself. And this is something that I keep telling all my clients. 3 months once, take a break. Do not do anything. And I'm talking, don't do even walking. Take that 1 week off completely. Start again. You need to periodize your workout. I've seen people start with heavy lifting.
So heaviest.
Yeah,
Just keep
that
going up.
doesn't work. Your body starts hitting a plateau soon. So you need to periodize your workout, saying, I'm doing strength, I'm doing conditioning, I'm doing cardio. Through those phases, in the year, make small different changes. That's when you see a difference.
So what you're saying is every 3 months take a break. Now that 3 months is 1 week break. He's not saying every 3 months take 8 months break and don't walk for those 8 months.
Just 1 week so that your body kind of de-stresses. It gets a complete relaxation. And if you're on supplements, off it as well. Preferably for a month, get off your supplements. That's something that your body has a natural reboot process. Now, simple thing, the best way to explain this is when you start with coffee. You start with 1 cup. 3 months later, you feel like 1 cup doesn't do it. 2 cups, 4 cups, 6 cups. Same thing with the supplementation. Your body can process it this way when you start off with it. You keep giving the same supplement over a period of time, your body ends up saying, okay, I'm getting external resource. I get external resource. Why do I need to make it? Or why do I need to, make my own? I just use what's coming in. And the process slowly starts dropping down. You want to make sure you give that break to your body. And it also helps your organs, kind of reboot.
Yeah, that was a good one. So I've done that a lot. I think every 3 months or so, I take off 1 week. And sometimes if it becomes too long, I've taken 1 month breaks as well.
Sometimes it's recovered. Listen to your body. This is one thing. Listen to your body. But don't make it lie to you.
Yeah. So it's not the laziness which keeps you off.
Yeah,
Right?
don't
It's
think
just
you
that
lie to you. That when I say this, I mean, yes, your body is sore, you're not recovering. Give that body a little bit of a break. Then once it gets too comfortable, don't say,
say that.
it still needs rest, I'm still in ache and pain. No, get back to it. Get back.
And if that break is more than 1 week, do you suggest do something like walking and stuff so that keep some activity levels
So
there?
yeah, so when you're doing this, if you look at how we periodize a workout, it's usually you deload after that. So if you do a 1 week break, then you deload. So if you say, let's say you're taking 10 kgs as your starting weight for any exercise, start with a 5. Give your body that 1 week to kind of come back. Let the muscle memory kick in. Just get through the movement. Do circuits. Do full body workouts for the first 2 weeks. Then get back. Or just even a week should be good enough for most people who've been doing it for a long time.
So one of the things, and because you specialize in rehab, how to exercise without getting injured?
This is actually something that I really love. One thing that most people do is they work out for an hour. 1 hour should require at least 15 minutes of a warm-up and a 15-minute at the least for a cool-down. Right? Now, what most people take of this is warm-up, go on the treadmill, do 5 minutes of it, that's warm-up. Right? You have dynamic warm-ups. A warm-up basically means you're working the muscle which you need to use at a lower capacity, getting it warmed enough that you don't, cramp up or you don't have any difficulty during your workout. Now, if that's the case, just doing a treadmill for 5 minutes, yes, gets you a little warm, but not the muscle that you want. So we do dynamic warm-ups. So once you're slightly moving, stretch out the muscle. Don't hold the stretch, but try and add movement to it. Same movements that will help. Mimic the movements that you want to do. So, if you're doing a shoulder, just do a freehand shoulder press, internal rotation, things like that. Squats, basic squats if you want to do heavyweight legs. Those are things that you can start. That way, what happens is you're staying away from that zone where your muscle's not warm enough to, warmed up. You just go into it and then you're like, cramp, this. That's one part of it. After your workout, this is where it becomes very important. We need at least 10 minimum seconds per muscle to stretch out, for it to start stretching, right? So we have our GTO. If you hold a stretch, most people, we're done. You need to hold it at least for a minimum of 10 seconds for your body to actually realize you're stretching, and then is when your body starts saying, oh, you want to stretch? I will let you go a little. So just simple exercise. If you don't understand this logic, bend forward, do a forward bend, try and touch your toes. Now observe where your hands reach. Wait for 20 seconds. Just wait there, don't do anything. Just wait for 20 seconds. You'll automatically see you reaching another 2 inches, 3 inches at least. That's your body letting go. That's where you need to work on. So each stretch has to be for at least 30 seconds for you to get a good recovery. Next, water. Main thing. Keep yourself hydrated. Finish your workout, get a meal into you. Make sure some amount of carbs, some amount of protein is there in that meal. That'll help you at least be injury free. Now, if you're doing a lot of cardio, make sure you're balancing it out with strength and vice versa. That's something that is important.
So few things, don't miss your warm-up and stretches. When you do stretches, hold your stretch. And the forward bend example, I think I love that and I keep doing it in my classes. So I just kind of, I was like, wow, somebody else does this as well.
I've had people like, wow, this is magic, how? Right? It needs that time. So, yeah.
Alright. Second thing, meals. Eat something after your workout, preferably within 30 minutes or so.
If you're cramping and things like that, that means there's something wrong with your nutrition. Your magnesium, potassium levels might be low. And you cannot go in directly saying, oh, I got a cramp today, I want a magnesium supplement, I want this one. Speak to a nutritionist, speak to someone who's knowledgeable about it before you go and take something. Right? Don't just start off blindly because you saw something on the internet. You need a reason. There might be 101 reasons why you get the same effect. Right? So figure that out before you do anything.
So work with a professional.
Work with a professional always. If your trainer is not qualified in nutrition, do not take advice. And this is because they've learned, it's like Chinese whisper. I'm going to tell you something. As a coach, I have told you something. You will tell that to someone. That person will tell it to someone else. Now, by the time it comes back to me, the entire topic is completely changed. So, unless and until you've done, I don't give nutritional advices. Even today, though I've worked with the best, I do not give nutritional advice. I'm not a nutritionist. You've done your decision, so you know what you're talking about. Though we know the matter, you never tell anyone because you're not certified or you're not, professionally qualified for it. Make sure of that one thing.
So yeah, if you are a client who's working with a trainer, if your trainer is not a nutritionist or a rehab or any other special things that you need for, don't take that advice. That doesn't make any trainer bad. It's just that there is a specific things that people are trained for, they worked upon, and they do that better. So look for qualified people to do that. So horses for courses is what he meant. Second thing is, if you were a trainer, I think this message goes to trainers also.
Right.
Now, what worked for you may not work for him, her, or somebody else. So,
see, one thing that I've learned over the years, me not giving that nutrition advice has saved this one so many times. Simple logic. Now, let's say you're a client, you come up to me and you're like, okay, this is, and I give you a nice big plan and all of this. Now, finally, you come back saying, I'm bloated and intolerant, I'm having bloating. Or you don't know you're bloated and intolerant, but you come back saying, I'm having bloating. Well, the first thing that earlier was chapati, remove rice from your diet, and if you're gluten intolerant, how will you even, give the same diet? And now, the internet is so powerful today. So most people will go research every single thing that you've told. And if they have 101 different reviews on the same matter, they're going to come back to you and ask questions. And if you answer wrongly, you're done. They will never trust you again. So you lose out on trust. So for trainers especially, make sure you really know what you're talking about before getting into it.
alright, and I think what you've really put forward, it works well for clients and trainers. It helps everybody.
See, the moment you get trust as a factor with a client, they're never going to leave you. But the same client, if he loses your trust once, you're gone. And word of mouth is the best publicity and the worst.
Worst publicity you can get.
Yeah.
Good things may not go too far.
Yeah, hey,
bad things
100 good things that you've done will not matter. That one thing that you've gone wrong on will be put on.
So, one last question regarding this section is, in which situation somebody should not exercise, or what to do if they have too much of body pain after the exercise.
Okay. Now, usually when people come in for the first time into a gym, they have, we have soreness, right? So that's one of the reasons when we start you off with something very, very basic. We start you with either a body weight or a circuit training. You're doing, when your program's given, it usually reads push-ups. If you don't have push-ups, wall push-up. And you're given 10 to 12 reps, 3 sets, 2 sets. Maximum you would go is to 3. But when you start with someone, it's usually one set of everything. See how you process it. Do not jump into it thinking, okay, that guy looks skinnier than me, he's lifting that much weight, I can lift more than that. You might be capable of lifting it, but the thing is your body needs that time to adjust. So start slow, wait for it, see how your body responds, see how fast you recover. That's your first phase. The second, if you have soreness. Now soreness is something that is going to come. There's no way of saying you're not going to be sore. There's nothing that you can do to avoid that. If it's the basic process of you building muscle. So tone it down. If you're getting too much of soreness, make sure you're just doing 3 days a week. If that is also too much, tone down the amount of work you're doing within that hour. Now, most people say, oh, I work out for 2 hours. You need 45 minutes, max to max an hour to finish a workout. If you're looking at professionally, then it's a different picture. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about a layman. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you should be out of the gym if you're starting. Don't stay there for more than that. You're just going to be, you end up breaking down muscle after the first hour. So I would suggest start slow. If you're sore, have a lot of water, make sure your protein intake is good, get that part of it sorted. Give it some time. Do not break your habit. Stay with it for at least 3 weeks. If the pain gets too much, then you need to look back and see what's going on. That's where the trainer comes in. That's where he or she should be able to help you out with this.
Okay. So what I understand from this, and I will summarize, is one, for somebody who's starting, anyways, a lot of people say, I don't have time for workout. So you really don't need too much of time. 45 minutes is good enough.
For a beginner, in fact, when we start, we give them a 30-minute workout. That's it. You don't even need to hit the gym. You can start home. But here's what happens. When you are at home, you end up saying, I'll do it in the morning, I'll do it in the evening. Get to a place, start doing it, make it a process.
Okay. And second thing is, if you get too much of soreness, tone down, reduce the amount of load, probably reduce the number of days also. And if that doesn't happen or doesn't go down within 3 weeks or
give it at least
your
3 to 4
trainer
weeks,
and get your concerns addressed by your trainer saying that I'm getting too much of soreness.
Stretch, foam rolling, these are additional things that you can start doing to help you with the soreness.
Alright, so this was good because a lot of times we don't know what to do when it's sore, so thank you. Now, this is the next section that we move into, and this is where this message goes out to the people who want to become trainers and people who are already trainers, who are learning in the initial stages. What is your advice for them?
Okay, so this is a nice question. When I started working with TriFit, after a while I ended up becoming one of the recruiters. I used to handle most of Tri's recruitment. The things that I saw and I felt really bad for them was, one, these guys would do a 1-day certification and expect to come into a class and teach the next day. Okay, that's one. Second, they're doing just one type of work, like they're doing, say, TRX, they're doing a Zumba, they're doing something, but just one. Okay. The third one was they're looking at this as being a livelihood. Okay. These are 3 things. Now, if you want to become an instructor, you need to first work on yourself. You need to make sure you're physically fit to take a class. Second, if you're doing a format which is high on cardio and you're doing the class with the client, make sure you're complementing that. If it's cardio based, make sure you're complementing that with strength so that you don't get injured later in life. Don't get into that hyper mode doing 20 classes a week. I know instructors who started doing, I did that for a while. I did that for almost, I used to do 24 classes. 24 classes, I'm not kidding you when I say this. I used to do 4 classes.
I was attending some of them.
Yeah, you were there. You know how it was, right? I used to do 4 classes, 5 classes a day. You burn out. One is you burn out. Second is you get bored of that format and you don't want to teach, and that ends your fitness career. So what I would normally say to a new instructor is start with at least 2 formats. If you're doing something which is high intensity, choose something that's also on a lower intensity. That way, as professionally, you get more variety, you get to do more classes, because if you're doing a high intensity class, you can do maybe 5, 6, maximum pushing it 6. But if you have something in your background saying you're doing yoga, you're doing Pilates, you're doing something which is the core, that will make sure that you get a more number of classes and you're not stressing so much. So find that balance. The second part of it is, don't expect to be hired the moment you get your certification. This is something that I have to tell you guys, because one is learn to accept that you've just finished something and you need to be trained in that. So shadow people. I'm sure most of you who would have gotten into this would have said, okay, I like this class and I want to become an instructor in this class. Speak to the instructor. Ask them if they can shadow you, if they can come into class. You can go back around, lead the class with them. Maybe just 2 minutes of a lead. Or ask the instructor if they can help assist in the class. These are things that you can do. Watch how the trainer teaches. Your verbal communication, your body language. These are all things that you need to work on. Because if you end up doing a group format, and if you go like this, you're tired, you're exhausted, your clients will never respond to them. They will also get tired and they're like, okay, we're bored of this, we don't want this instructor. And today's date, it's very easy to find a new instructor. We have so many coming. So specialize, try and get that niche market, work on it. That's one part. Now if you're looking at becoming a trainer in a gym, again, intern with people, get your education sorted, figure out what are the things that you want to do. You want to make sure that you know all your basics. Work under someone. This is something that is very, very, very important. Work under someone who is knowledgeable. That's when you can grow. It's not, this question, we were just discussing this before, is competition. We don't have competition. Dude, we are such a big country. We've got, when I started, we had 3% of our population working out. Just 3% of our population. Now that is a big number by itself. Right?
1.3, 130 crores.
That's big. We've got few instructors. You work on it, you will have your clientele. Every other nook and corner, there are gyms. How are they surviving? If there are no people, every year we're looking at improvements in this. Corporate structures. Most of the corporate guys are now saying you have to work out. And you get your health benefits, you get extra pay because of that. So specialize, work on things, work on yourself. Once you're sure that you can work, start basic. Don't look at doing 100 things. Start with 1 or 2 clients. Work with that. Do not jump into taking 10 clients in a week, because then you will not have enough time to process what you're doing. You will end up getting burnt out, and then you half-heartedly do what you do, and people will back out. So make sure you give it time. Give it a year's time, 6 months of doing your certification and working under someone, and 6 months of training. Actually taking classes. Do the smallest version possible, then you'll grow. Give it that time. And if you want it as a career, you better be ready to shell out hours. Because we get up at what? There are times when I was in the gym sector, I used to wake up at 4, sleep at 11 in the night. Right? In between that 2 hours that you get, you go sleep. And most people today want to do it with a corporate structure. They're doing a corporate job, they're doing training. Your sleep goes for a toss. So you need to work all of these out. When you want to make that change, when you want to make that shift, is when you need to figure out, is it worth it? Yes, I know instructors today who make more than what a corporate job is. Right? It's not difficult, but you need to be capable enough to handle that kind of pressure. It's lives.
So what you're saying is, 1, learn before you earn, so which is the biggest thing. So first you've got to invest your time and money in learning. Second thing is, work under somebody, get mentor. If somebody is ready to give you that mentorship, just go ahead and work with them, learn with them, and that's going to help. Third thing is about internship. So go and work somewhere for free.
It's there in every other profession. Why not in fitness? We have people today. I know, how Praveen, how Milan and Pratik are. They allow you to come under them. They take you under their wing and they do help you out. But that passion should be there. Only then will you go forward.
Yeah. So one thing that I will tell you is, I've worked in different industries, I've done different things, and I haven't seen any industry more receptive than fitness. Because the names that he talked about, Praveen, Milan, Pratik, Rohith himself, I've worked with all of these guys when I started out. And every time I went with a question, I came back with an answer, and satisfactory answer. It was not to shoo somebody away. They actually put their effort to help you out. And there are a lot more people in this industry who do that. But you need to go out, reach out. You don't expect that, okay, Rohith is going to come to my house and tell me that, Dhaval, you become instructor, I'll help you. No, it doesn't work that way. But you got to go and reach out. So if you are planning to become a trainer, you actually got the formula. You just put the formula in place.
Because when I started, and I used to have the weirdest of thoughts. So when I started, the internet was I found out, and I would literally bug Gautam with questions. And there was not a single day that I got an answer saying, listen, enough is enough, stop. I would always get an answer saying this is the answer. If I conflicted with a question, so if he had an answer and I said that's conflicting to what I read, I have never got an answer saying no, you're wrong, I'm right. It will always be, can you give me a day's time? I'll get back to you. Right? So that's always been that. That is what I expect. And this is what will happen most of the times with instructors. Because we are that fraternity. Right?
So I've done that, I think
Yeah.
he himself is an example. How many times I would have reached
True.
out to you or a lot of other people that we talked about, and that's about it. It's about discussion. It's about asking people, learning from, because everybody learns from different sources and they have their own identity and the kind of work that they do. This is the best time and best place to be. If you really want to be in fitness, there cannot be a better time.
Right.
So now we talked about this. But tell me, if people want to contact you, who want to follow your work on Facebook or Instagram, where do they find you?
Simple, on Instagram it's one Rohith, numeric 1 ROSITH, and on Facebook pretty much the same, Rohith Krishnachar. You'll find me there. My number is usually on Facebook. You can contact me, or you can drop me a message on either forums.
Awesome. So guys, as I said, if you really want an answer, feel free to talk to these experts that are coming on this show. They have actually taken time to answer the queries. I've been, beneficiary of that for a lot more time, and I still do. So yeah, that's one. Now, all these things we talked about, there were certain technical things, some things people find, few jargons that we use as trainers being confusing. If you wanted to make it really easy and simple, the simplest way for somebody to start their fitness journey, what would that be?
Start with a goal.
Start with the goal.
Keep your goals, something that can be achievable. Make them smart. Don't go into a fad. Don't go into these short-term things. Find a plan which will make sure that you know your goal and you have steps towards it. Start. As I said, start.
Okay.
Fitness is it's not complicated. Like most people would think, I have people coming. Okay, so when I said this, I walk. I had one of the lady clients come to me and said, I said, start walking. He said, I walk every day. I said, what is your pace? Like, I don't know. Okay. I said, are you able to talk when you're walking? Yeah, we have full conversations. Now that is not what the kind of walk that I mean. The simplest test would be, if I'm walking, I should be able to get yes, one word out at a time. I shouldn't be comfortable enough talking to another person, and that's not going to help me lose any calories. It should be brisk enough that I'm starting with an activity. It's not chit-chatting and wasting your time. There's some people who say 2 hours in a gym and you're spending 1 hour 45 minutes talking to your neighbor. So start and keep your goals smart. That's about it. That's what I would say.
Alright. Thank you for that, Rohith. Before I wind up, do you have any questions or any comments for me or anything that you would want to?
I'm very curious about what you're going to be doing after this. So I'll wait for this. Now that your nutrition's come out, congratulations on that. You're doing that as well, and I see a lot of followers happening. So that's good.
Yeah. So essentially, this is a platform where we want to help people become fit. So if they're wondering where to start their journey, they know people like you who have done that for a very long time. Come in and help them. The second thing is for fitness instructors, people who are wondering what to do, they get guidance in their career. They have people to look up to. Like as you said, I knew few people when I started to look for fitness in terms of becoming an instructor. You didn't have, a lot of us didn't have it back then. Yeah. So now I want to put that platform so that people can see.
That's a great initiative. I'm actually very impressed with when you told me the idea, I was like, that's impressive. It didn't really hit me before. But yeah, it does make a lot of sense. I think that's required in today's day and age. And the youngsters that are coming in, the one thing that I have to say is, fitness can be a career. Do not think of fitness as a part-time thing. You can make it your career. You can be earning top dollars. It's just the way that you process and the way that you will. It's like any other career, you will have to take steps. The only problem is with the regular families, fitness becomes you're a trainer, you're a this. That might put you down initially, but we're making enough and more than what most people in a corporate job are, and you're doing. Make sure it's passion that's driving you and not just money. So that's the thing that I would like to end this session with.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much for joining us. Please share your questions, comments and feedback in the comment section below. Many more experts are going to come in, share their journey, share their views to help you become fitter, stronger, healthier. If you have any other questions or suggestions, you can send us an email at trainwithdhaval@gmail.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more coming in even after this. So thank you very much Rohit for joining in,
Thank you for having me.
good talking to you.
Pleasure.